Well, what do I think is likely to be the case as regards how Scripture comes together? Well, in the case of Christianity, I think there were early writings, BC, and like the Essenes, the Therapeutes, they had their beliefs. They get written into story form, personified. Ideas about the hero, Messiah to come, that he's interacted with people before he comes, that he's not just spiritual in the end, he's, not just, I say just, but I mean not just visions and dreams and so forth, and hopes, but personified in form in the stories. Things get built up, legends grow. There's a following of people that want to believe such, and quite a variety at that. And some versions are more acceptable than others. They have a bigger following. If it gets really big, the state takes an interest. Gives a more comprehensive version that's in its own interest and supports the development of the communities that follow such. Simply that you now have a religion with a scripture. And it's sort of authoritative. This is what God or gods is or are. This is what we believe. So I would put original Pauline type letters in the early stage of visions and experiences spiritual. And then someone writes very sketchy, poor view, if you like, of personification of the Messiah coming. Other people improve on it. Other people now rewrite the early visions and prophecies and so on so that they fit. Someone else writes a much better story than, the state version of, say, the Jesus story. The state steps in at some point and makes some versions heretical and some scriptures are the acceptable and some aren't. Burns all those that aren't, and the people with it if necessary. You end up with a national religion. End of story. Gets set in stone, except in as far as it gets reinterpreted and tweaked and corrected by those that are held to be in authority to do so. Versions, translations just change a bit through time to the convenience of the society that they're in. and they adapt to other societies so that their version of, say, Catholicism looks a bit different, or they're Eastern Orthodox instead of Catholic. Another Protestant instead of Catholic. Another a nonconformist instead of Protestant. So it goes on. It's the evolution of religion, or it's how a religion grows up. Is it of God? Well, it just is. It's created, it's allowed by God. It's a mix of good and bad, that you may recognize the good and recognize the bad, and gravitate to the good, ideally. It's all part of our spiritual growth. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. If instead we look at Islam, I mean, it might be that something like Jason Giorgiani's story is right. It's a Persian implant to, with political motivations back home in Persia. As Jason imagines, at least, it takes off like wildfire, where it's being seeded in among the Arabs, nomadic people. It galvanizes them together with foreign support and funds, probably. Secretly, of course. Well, it's possible. I mean, it's conceivable, put it that way. It uses existing literatures. Whoever is putting this together is capable. Gens up on what the current spirituality is in a culture and uses it accordingly. Is this malicious? It's neutral. It's someone has a purpose and is going to use this society and people accordingly. Like, I say we, it's like we did with the, probably did indeed, it looks like it, with the mystery cults. We applied from a Greek understanding of, or lack of understanding perhaps, of what spirituality was in Egypt in ancient times, I don't know, 600 BC or something. And adapts it to the Greek gods, and then realizes you can adapt this story to any set of gods if you put your mind to it. And Christianity is an adaptation of the mystery cult to a sort of pseudo-Judaic background from a Greek point of view. I mean, it's nothing. There's nothing more sinister than that, and it's nothing more spiritual than that. It's man groping his way, and there are good and bad intentions. It's a soup of what man is. Children trying to find a way that gives life and protects life, and probably narrowly their life, The foreign influence has a political agenda, if you like, or the internal groups of people have a reaction to what is at present and want something that they see as better. And so they latch on to, or contribute in a sense to the development. of what emerges as most popular, most effective, most enduring. You get Islam. Or if you take the New World, wants its own religion. It wants independence of British culture and European culture, all the side of it that it doesn't like, its dominance, its making serfs and slaves, really, of all sorts of people. And it emerges as the New World religion, and someone comes along and writes his ideal. Is it Adam Smith? It doesn't matter who it is. It may not even be him, but attributed to him. You just don't know, because we keep meddling with our history. All you can say is it looks as though this is the path that this religion developed along. And you get a New World religion, Mormonism, and it's intensely supported in some specific areas of the country, Salt Lake and so on. And it's most meaningful to those people. Might be used by the state. It may be, it has a relationship to the state in some way. In some way it may make a very good, conforming, predictable, reliable, honest citizens. It can be used by the state. Or it could become an enemy of the state, and it gets persecuted and, not necessarily burnt at the stake, but marginalised in some ways. I mean, I don't know, but from the sound of it, just from the sound of it, Salt Lake area doesn't sound the nicest climate and environment. I would think they had a hard time to begin with. And they prospered. Quite honestly, good on them. It's not my religion, but then that's because I have a different background. Well, my background is so non-conforming that I sort of try to follow no religion at all, but on the other hand, I harvest and glean from that which I see as fitting from my point of view, of course. It's not everyone's point of view, to say the least. But if it's not offensive, truly offensive, damaging to others, then it, is tolerated. And some people love it. Okay, well, that's good. I hope it blesses them. And the rest don't. Well, that's okay. I'm sure God's onto it. He knows exactly what's best for them. This is my trust and belief. It's not everyone's trust and belief. Some people trust that the good go to heaven and the rest go to hell. This view doesn't grab me at all. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.